Hey, it's Philip with G6 Technology Services. I just wanted to give you guys an update on the server room. I know it's been a little while after the rain incident in here. We still have open ceiling tiles. There's still a little bit of water in this light fixture. But what actually ended up causing all of this is there's a mechanical room on the floor above this room, and the AC condensation lines got clogged up. And that room actually had about 3 inches of standing water in it, and it was just seeping down through any hole that it could find and found its way into my ceiling. So that's what it was. At least it wasn't toilet water or something, but still not happy about it. So anyway, as you can see, we've got the plastic wrap up on top of the rack here to try and keep any further water from coming down, but they did go and vacuum out all the water from that floor above me, and haven't really had anything dripping down so far. Got this nice stain down here. We've had a couple little droplets here and there, but nothing near as bad as how it was. So, an update, the HP switch is gone from up there. I did a video previously showing about the water that destroyed the inside of that, all the water damage. We have rearranged a little bit. Got the top server that was here was an R730, and that got water all over it. What ended up happening was actually the, let's see if I can kind of move this. Well, this one doesn't have it right there because it's in the back, but the R730 had a case release right in the middle to take the top cover off, and water pooled on top of that and dripped down into the motherboard and kind of rolled through the back as well. And so one of the 2 power supplies was fried. All the RAM slots that had RAM in them are full of corrosion. There were a bunch of components on the motherboard that were corroded, and it got a few more things. It got the PCI riser. So I just went ahead and trashed that server. It wasn't worth it to me to try to fix it. It was about $10,000 brand new, but I ended up getting it for free. So not worth trying to source a motherboard. Had to replace all the RAM. All that stuff is kind of expensive. Anyway, I just didn't trust it. It's not reliable after that. So anyway, moved up one of the R720s. That's this XD. That's the NVR server. Since I had some spare rails, so it was just sitting down here on top of this other 730. We still have the other 720 right here. We've got this 730, which I'm just in the process of putting ESXi on there. I was going to try and make that a NAS server. I was going to do like true NAS on it, but it doesn't have the RAID card in it that you would need to be able to pass all the drives through individually. So I'm not going to worry about that right now. I'd rather just replace the ESXi server that was lost. So this one down here is going to fill that role now. And I've got this server right here. I moved all the drives out of the old dead server into this one and imported the foreign configuration for the PERT card. So it's doing an background sync or something right now. So hopefully I did it right and it's going to restore all the data that was on there. It's not a big deal if it doesn't. I've got copies of all the important VMs that were on there, and the other ones where I can just recreate. So not a big deal, but hopefully it does restore them so I don't have to go through that process of rebuilding everything. The NVR, I'll just give you a quick update on that while I'm in here. The only thing I've really done is got a caddy for this SSD. It was just kind of shoved in the back, so now it has a caddy. I don't know why it's blinking. I need to look back in the RAID card page and see if it's trying to tell me that drive's going bad, or if it's like an unsupported vendor or something like that, but it's working fine. Let's see, down here, same situation. We've got this top drive here is actually a caddy that has an SSD in it. The rest of these drives right here are in a RAID 6, and this bottom one is a hot spare for this RAID 6. So this is going to be the new VM server, ESXi server, to replace the 730 that died. And then we have still this right here is unused. That's going to get pulled out. That was the old, I don't remember what that was actually. The old NVR is what it was, sorry. Right here is my TrueNAS server right now. That has two, I think 8 terabyte or so hard drives in there in a RAID 1 mirroring. So that's running fine for now, but I would like to get it on actual rack mount equipment. If I can get another one of these servers and get the RAID card that allows for pass-through. And then over on the network side, we still have these two switches. I made a video about these switches before, saying that I was going to end up trying to cut over from the Cisco switch and the HP and these media converters, get rid of all that and move over to these, which I still intend to do. The bottom one had a bad memory module, but I ordered a new one and it works fine now. I've got a spare management card back there because actually it was cheaper to get the management card with the memory and the CF card in it than it was just to get the memory module alone. But I was impatient and really wanted to get this up and running, and that whole bundle was going to take like 3 weeks to ship, and I could get the memory module in like a couple days, so I ended up just doing both. So now I have a spare management card, and I still have all these these SFP modules from FS. Got a little bit tongue-tied there. But I do want to put these SFPs in this module F here and move all of these fiber connections out of the Cisco and out of the media converters and just have them running right off with the switch. And then this bottom one, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with it yet. They're both linked together with this 10 gig fiber link. I do have 10 gig RJ45s here in these modules, G, H, and I. And some of these servers have 10 gig RJ45 cards in them, so I would like to start using that so that I can have faster transfers between the servers and the NAS for VMware backups. And I may actually be able to do a SAN for the VMware servers, so they're not running off local RAID arrays, they're just all running off of a single server. Not that one, but when I can get an actual rack mount one, so it's a little bit more reliable. But anyway, so yeah, that's the condition of everything, the situation right now. I'm leaving this plastic on top, probably indefinitely, because I just don't trust this building. I've had so many issues here with water coming through the ceiling. So anyway, I forgot to mention before, the reason I haven't started using these switches yet is because I don't have backup power for them. And they take a long time to turn back on. We get little power glitches here a lot. It doesn't stay off for long, but it glitches enough to reboot things. So everything in this rack is protected by battery backups. It's just these two switches that are not. So I need to get a UPS that will hold them, but they actually are kind of power hungry. They use about 5 amps a piece, and you can see that there's nothing even plugged into them barely. So that probably will go up as I start installing some SFP modules and plugging some more Ethernet cables in. I'll have to keep an eye on that, but I'm gonna have to get a couple of like 1,000 watt UPSs for these, because I think if I remember correctly, the 5 amp one, if you do the calculation, was about 600 something watts or so. And I just want there to be a little bit of wiggle room. I don't like running things right up to the maximum. And this one was 400 and something, I think. But anyway, oh yeah, and we still have our, there's one of the battery backups, and then we have one other VMware server on the right there. That's actually my primary VMware server. It has most of my mission critical VMs on it. So I would love to get all of those moved off onto a Dell server here and retire the nice Optiplex 790 that has served me so well for all these years, and retire the Precisions as well and move everything onto rack mount servers. So that's the plan for the future. Here's the remnants of that Dell, the R730 that died. I was able to salvage some things out of it. We got this fan assembly. I think I stole the PERT card out of it. Got one working power supply, a CPU, network, 2 network cards, CPU heatsink, a PCI riser, a couple of plastic bits, and then all the drives that were in there. So hopefully I can just keep some of this as spare parts, because I do have another 730 up here, and if anything goes wrong with it, it'll be nice to have some spare parts on hand. So anyway, that's going to do it for now. that's the current status. I'll update you guys later when I get some more stuff done, but that's going to be the last water damage update. Unfortunately, I was just kind of moving quick and was going through that other server and didn't film it, so I would have loved to show you some of the footage of that, but unfortunately it just didn't occur to me to video it at the time. I just got so involved in it. But anyway, the next update video will probably just be another like network tour type thing. I'm not going to do any more water damage videos because that's all addressed now. The 2 devices that got damaged are gone, and the water's stopped, and we've got plastic on top to try to prevent that from happening again. And I have these little screen protectors up here just kind of sticking out to give this this plastic sheeting a little bit of a lip to sit on. I was worried if it came right up to the edge of the rack and drooped down, then it might get water on some of these cables and it could run into the switch. So hopefully if it rains in here again, there's enough of an overhang that all the water will just run off the front onto the floor and it won't get onto any of my cables. So anyway, that's going to do it. I appreciate you for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you next time.